Welcome to Albania, a country known for its natural beauty, rich history, and entrepreneurial spirit. If you're thinking of starting a business in Albania, this video is for you. I'll guide you through the process of turning your business idea into a reality. Albania is a country with enormous potential for business growth, with a young and talented workforce, a strategic location at the heart of the Balkans, and a dynamic economy. So join me in Albania and start your journey to success. You'll find a supportive community, a thriving market, and endless opportunities to make your mark on the world. Dear friend, I am thrilled to hear that you are considering starting a business abroad. This is an incredible opportunity for you to expand your horizons, learn about new cultures, and make an impact in the world. As someone who has been through this journey before, I would like to share a few words of advice and inspiration to help you on your way. Firstly, I want to remind you that the road to success is never easy, but it is always worth it. Starting a business abroad will require you to step out of your comfort zone, face new challenges, and navigate unfamiliar terrain. However, this is where you will learn the most and where your greatest achievements will come from. Secondly, I want to encourage you to be fearless in pursuit of your dreams. The world is full of opportunities for those who are willing to take risks and embrace uncertainty. If you have a great idea and a passion for what you do, there is no reason why you cannot succeed in a new and exciting market. Finally, I want to remind you that success is not just about making money or achieving fame. It is about creating something meaningful, something that makes a positive impact in the world. When you start your business abroad, think about how you can make a difference, how you can contribute to the local community, and how you can inspire others to follow in your footsteps. In summary, my advice to you is to be bold, be brave, and be passionate about what you do. Starting a business abroad is an incredible opportunity to learn, grow, and make a difference. So go out there and make it happen. Opening a business in a new country comes with its own set of unique challenges, from cultural differences to compliance issues, and everything in between. A stark reality for companies operating in today's economic environment is the need to establish an international presence in the marketplace. This means, of course, starting a business in another country. There are different motivations for such an expansion. Perhaps there's a strong market or local talent base that you want to tap into. Or perhaps there's a steady stream of import-export happening between your company's location and that other location, and you decide it might be more cost-effective to simply put boots on the ground there. Whatever your reason may be, there are a few things you need to keep in mind when opening a business in a foreign country. We asked employers who have been in your shoes and pulled together some takeaways based on their experiences. Know the cultural norms. This may be obvious, but it bears repeating. Doing things the way you do things in your own country won't always mesh well with the cultural norms in your new office. People work together differently. Charlie Marchant, a general manager at Exposure Ninja, a UK-based digital marketing agency, talked about her experiences working with employees based in Asia. As she says, those employees tend to avoid asking questions to managers and are more indirect in sharing their feedback and concerns. In comparison, Charlie says, our British and European teams are much more likely, and this is a behavior we encourage, to question and give feedback to the management team. To a lesser extent, she pointed out cultural differences in the way American and British colleagues work together. Often in American culture and schools, you're rewarded for speaking up and sharing your opinions and ideas, even if you may not necessarily have new insights to add. Whereas in British culture, we tend to be more introverted and quieter with our opinions in group settings, preferring to share feedback more openly in smaller groups or one-on-one. Charlie noted that none of these are right or wrong, or better or worse. It's more important, she adds, to understand the nuances of their team members' communication and ways of working to ensure they're getting the feedback and input they need from them, and that they feel confident and comfortable giving it. Yuval Shalev, currently co-founder and CRO of Hunters, has an extensive track record in penetrating new markets and territories across Europe, the Middle East, and Africa in previous capacities. One such instance called for expansion to Romania, where Yuval noted the stark differences in managerial culture, which led to issues between teams, listing examples such as micromanagement and favoritism. While those aren't necessarily indicative of Romanian culture, Yuval's challenge was to remedy that without looking like his company was trying to fix the culture. His solution in the end was to standardize operating procedures across cultures, but more so, train staff to communicate performance feedback differently. Romanian culture is proud and steeped in tradition, so any issues had to be addressed carefully and diplomatically. We shifted to a constructive criticism format to foster a positive, productive workspace. Local values differ a little or a lot. Polly Kay, currently a marketing manager at UK-based blinds manufacturer English Blinds, made what she called some major errors in establishing a previous company's presence in the Middle East. My greatest personal mistake involved picking one of our most popular product lines in the US to offer to our Dubai audience, a branded product featuring a cartoon pig. I knew that the largely Muslim Dubai community didn't eat pork, obviously, but it never occurred to me that this would also translate as not wanting to have anything to do with pigs in general, including children's toys. I was then left with 2 shipping containers worth of stock that was worthless within the target market, and that I had to offload across more appropriate areas of the company serving other markets. Christina McDougall, who works at Artemis Canada Inc. in recruiting for American startups expanding to Canada, is quick to remind readers of the nuanced differences between the 2 countries beyond their obvious similarities in culture and language. In Canada, Christina says, there is a sense of collaboration and mutual success that can be a surprise for tech companies based in Silicon Valley. She adds, Canadian tech companies typically help each other, working together to compete with global companies. This also impacts recruitment, making it a delicate business, Christina says. One of the things that foreign-owned companies are surprised with is the need to be an active part of this community, giving back through participation in local philanthropy and arts and culture, and also lifting up the local startup and tech community with education-oriented events and mentoring will help these companies to be embraced. Christina also warns of aggressive recruitment, which may rub Canadians the wrong way. Companies need to consider how they are developing the local skill base and also avoid overtly predatory practices, targeting entire dev teams or blatantly offering inflated salaries that would upset the local ecosystem would make you appear a parasite. However large or small the cultural differences are, do your homework and learn about what works and what doesn't work in the new environment you're about to operate in. It's no accident that locals appreciate it when you make the effort to work with them in their language, be that in words, gestures, culture, gesticulations, feedback, commentary, conflict, or anything else. Employee motivations count no matter what. One thing remains consistent. People are people everywhere. They're motivated by many of the same things regardless of background, culture, language, etc. This includes benefits, perks, and other potential motivators in the workplace. You've all noted that stock options and tools for career development are effective. Good employees are interested in growing, so I encourage them to move between departments. We adjusted salaries to the highest tier of the local market rate and made an effort to understand cultural norms. If a post-lunch nap is common for the culture, embrace it. Set parameters, of course, but something about it must be working. Ted Rollins, founding partner and chairman of Vallejo Group, which develops and builds student and senior housing communities in the U.S. and Europe, attested to growth opportunity as a universal motivator while adhering to your core company values. Adapt to and blend in the various cultural values and norms, but do not stray from your core. Let the energy and passion lead the process and keep people at the center of what you do, and the international distinctions become less challenging. Necessity is the mother of invention. The advent of technology in our work enables us to work more internationally as organizations, and global expansion of companies likewise prompts further evolution of existing technology. For instance, Slack allows for quicker, one-off communications between remote employees. Google Hangouts and Microsoft's Zoom enables colleagues to have some type of face-to-face interaction, plus the ability to make presentations across different offices. And Workable's international presence, of course, allows for an international hiring strategy to flourish. David at Full Stack Labs signs off with a hat tip to Workable's recruitment solution. One of the things that's really nice about Workable is we manage all of our Colombia job postings in the same way we do in the United States. So we go in and we create a new job. We publish it to Indeed and to LinkedIn. We get a lot of inbound applicants in Colombia from LinkedIn and to a lesser extent Indeed. And then we run them through the same candidate pipeline and the same in the hiring process. It was a nice surprise when we were expanding down there. It was nice to see that workable worked in Colombia. And then we've also used the sourcing tool to find candidates down there and contact them. There's a surprisingly good database of candidates in the workable sourcing tool in Colombia. Setting up a company is not an easy task, particularly if you intend to do so abroad. Many business owners are taking advantage of the rising U.S. dollar, which is even devaluing other currencies, and moving abroad to establish their enterprises. If you are interested in starting a business overseas in a foreign country, keep watching the video. We're going to let you know the top 10 steps to start a business overseas in a foreign country. 1. Localize your concept, outlook, and goals. For any business, immersing themselves in the community culture is crucial. Find a coach or friend in your community who can assist you in learning about the customs and preferences of the people there. 2. Learn the language. Although it may seem intuitive, learning another language can occasionally seem just as difficult as beginning a business. Even subpar language abilities are preferable to none. You can develop language skills outside of lessons by using a variety of apps or by meeting up with individuals. 3. Analyze the market, both past and present perspective. Every businessman is aware of the need of studying the competition before entering a brand new market. Don't end there, though. Examine 5 businesses that made unsuccessful attempts to reach that market. People will repeat their mistakes if they don't benefit from others' mistakes in the past. 4. Create a new network. When you relocate abroad, your old network is less useful. Therefore, you'll have to create a new regional one. Utilize the fact that it is simpler to meet new individuals because there aren't many expats in a tight-knit community. 5. Recognize the environment. Even if some professionals like Darren Kaiser contend that starting a company abroad might potentially be far simpler, less hazardous, and more financially viable than establishing a company in your native country, it is far preferable to anticipate problems than to trust it will all go according to plan. 6. Determine and calculate expectations. Start your work by seeking out analogies to the kinds of markets you now serve in the U.S. or overseas. Choose locations where you can offer your goods or services without having to make significant adjustments to meet local requirements or laws. 7. Establish a budget. While there are many reasons why businesses fail, one of the most frequent causes is a lack of launch money, which typically results from the firm founder's overly optimistic revenue and profit forecasts. Even in the best of conditions, establishing a new firm may be challenging, let alone when operations are far away and the market environment is unreliable. 8. Look for a local agent. When building a real presence in a foreign state, a local agent, or perhaps an attorney or accountant with competence in international humanitarian law, can be quite helpful. You do not want to have your goods confiscated or your business shut down as a consequence of any miscommunication or communication error with the local authority representatives. 9. Learn about the international money transfer. Do some research on your choices for sending money abroad. You shouldn't often depend on your banks to transfer and receive money abroad unless you require a specific service. A lot of the time, you are hit with outrageous fees and forced to wait multiple days for the funds to pass and show up in your account. 10. Address logistics problems before opening your store. The infrastructure found in developed nations is absent in many other nations. There could be laws, levies, charges, and trade tariffs that impede the free movement of goods both inside and outside the nation, even in cases when there are no physical barriers to their movement. By following these steps, you can establish a store overseas. So consider every option and establish the shop. As an entrepreneur, you might feel limited in your own country. This could be due to cultural reasons, market saturation, or simply no demand for whatever product or idea you have in mind. So packing your bags and landing in a faraway land gives you a unique opportunity to share your leadership with another community. But how can you have an edge in a country that isn't your own? The answer is your mentality. When you go abroad, you are facing a completely different culture and way of life. But therein lies an opportunity. Local people might not see things the way you do. They might not see the solution to a particular problem simply because they didn't see the problem in the first place. But as a foreigner, you might see new paths and new ideas that resolve problems that would otherwise go unsolved. Moving abroad marks the beginning of a new journey, one that opens your mind to new markets and gives you the opportunity to become a leader in your chosen field. If you are the adventurous type and are willing to follow the advice we give you, you'll be more likely to succeed. 1. Plan ahead and be ready if things don't go according to plan. In the military, we say that no plan survives contact with the enemy. This rings true in the business world, too. Even though you might have had a plan worked out months or years in advance, the reality of being there in a different country might lay waste to your best plans. Always be prepared for a worst-case scenario. Many people don't do this, and they face great difficulties when things go wrong. 2. Have patience. We know the rules of our own country, we know the language, the culture, and the idiosyncrasies, but abroad we might not know any of these things. The culture, the language, and society's traits might be different from what we're used to. Crucially, we might not be aware of how bureaucracy works in this new environment, so we might face frustrating situations. I have one word for you: patience. Particularly at the start of your journey, a little patience will go a long way. 3. Be open-minded. Entrepreneurs tend to be dynamic, creative people. This is a great thing. When your mind is open to learning new things, you're likely to take a more positive and proactive approach to what you're doing, especially if you are doing it in a country that you're new to. There is much to learn when you go abroad, and an open mind is a great tool. 4. Surround yourself with a great team. Surround yourself with a great team of local specialists who understand the local mentality better than you. This is something I learned long ago. In business, you will not succeed alone, no matter how good you think you are. You need to team up with the right people, like-minded people, to help you set up and advance your business. A good local team is particularly important when you are starting a business abroad. Locals will know the country's culture and ideological tendencies much better than you. They can advise on what works and what doesn't work. A local team is an invaluable asset. 5. Respect the local mentality and culture and be humble. Sometimes we might believe that we know better than the locals, that we have it all figured out. If you think like this, you are likely to fail. Why? Because you don't know better than the people who have lived in that location all their lives. You will not immediately understand their mentality and cultural traits. If you go in with an air of superiority, you will fail. Instead, display humility. Let the new country teach you what you need to know. And very importantly, learn the local language as best you can. This will open up many doors for you. Be an ambassador for your own country. Even though you might be abroad, a little of your own country travels with you. Promote friendly relations in any way you can between your country and the one you're setting up your business in. This will ultimately help you succeed. 7. Believe in yourself and bring added value. This is perhaps the most important piece of advice. For a business to succeed, you have to believe it will. You have to believe that what you're creating has value and adds value to the community. Building a successful business, whether locally or abroad, tends to be about the added value, and of course it has to be profitable. No unprofitable business ever lasts, but profitability does not arise out of thin air. It needs good business acumen, some luck, and a great deal of planning. All these moving parts must sync up and spin in unison, like the wheels of a fine-tuned machine. To sum it all up, succeeding in the creation of a sustainable business in a foreign country starts with a carefully crafted plan. If executed, step by step, in the right order, your chances for that business to take off and become a success increase. Your well-organized planning, perseverance, belief, and personal effort can act as the seeds for a business to grow. Good luck on your entrepreneurial journey. Remember that obstacles and challenges are a part of the process, but with hard work and perseverance, you can overcome them and succeed in your venture.